Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe. We would like to remind you that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365. The federal government has advised Nigerian citizens planning to travel to the United Kingdom to be cautious of potential violence following the recent killing of 3 young girls at a concert. The statement released and signed by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Eche Abobe, noted that the ongoing protests in the UK have turned violent following the killing of the 3 young girls at the concert. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu chaired the Executive Council meeting as full government activities resumed following a full-day hunger protest across Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu had urged protesters to cease demonstrations and engage in dialogue in a broadcast on Sunday. In response, Governor Sanwo-Olu praised the Lagos protesters for ending their actions in line with the president's appeal. Speaking to journalists at the Lagos House in Ikeja, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotosho, confirmed that the state is currently peaceful and that government operations have fully resumed. The economy of the country last week, a cross-section of Nigerians has been reacting to the impact of the demonstration. Development and political economist Abayomi Oyalowo, while speaking on Global Morning, highlighted some of the critical issues. Oyalowo stated that the compressed natural gas initiative of the federal government, CNGI, is one that Nigerians need to ask questions about in order to maximize its benefits. Samuel Odi completes the report.
Oyalowo stated that compressed natural gas initiative of the federal government is one that Nigerians need to ask questions about in order to maximize its benefit.
Some of the reasons that have been adduced for the high cost of living has been majorly transportation, generally. And what we have not asked ourselves is what should be the other solution? Because clearly, international fuel price keeps going up, and we are not immune from that. Now, the president said about 1 million kits to convert from petrol to CNG has been distributed. What we have not asked ourselves is many of our state governors who are the recipient of these kits, what have they been doing?
He also said while the agricultural sector holds tremendous promise, state governors have not effectively played their part in financing the sector.
What are our modern day governors doing in terms of agriculture? We all get angry, we are hungry. Do we actually expect Tinubu to start farming and giving us food? Before today, when the Buhari administration was on, we had states like Kebbi State, Jigawa State, Kano State, Niger State producing rice en masse, so that we can be fed in Nigeria. And it was the saving grace of Nigeria when the world was locked down during the COVID period, such that we didn't go hungry because we couldn't import food.
Regarding the advised impact of population on the economy, Oyalowo challenged citizens to put control measures in place in light of the economic realities facing the country.
You go to a company, for instance, I made an analysis some times back. I said, look, the MD CEO has 2 children. The managing director, the general manager maybe has 2. Now the cleaner has 4. The maid has 20. And then you expect that, come on, if my father and your father works in the same company and they earn the same salary, and my father has 2 children, your father has 4 children, your father is a poor man compared to my father.
While some youths are believed to have heeded to the president's advice to halt all demonstrations, some others have, however, insisted that their demands must be met by the government. Samuel Odi, reporting for Global Television News.
The Northern Forum has expressed disappointment and concern over President Bola Tinubu's national address. The forum, led by Professor Ango Abdullahi, criticized the president's failure to address the severe security situation in the northwest and other northern regions. This was as hoodlums attacked protesters at the Lausa in Lagos following the ongoing End Bad Governance protest across some states of the country, with the northwest states of Kaduna, Katsina, and Kano mostly hit. The Northern Elders Forum said it was worried that the president did not speak on issues of banditry, kidnapping, rape, and other criminal activities devastating the areas. Katsina State's acting governor Farouk Lawal has approved the review of the 24-hour restriction of movement order imposed on Dutchema local government area of the state and other 33 local government areas under the 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. Lawal granted the review of the Dutchema curfew after receiving a report of an improved security situation in the area. He directed the ban on unusual gatherings and all types of protests to remain imposed throughout the state. He, however, appreciated the civil manner in which the security agencies have handled the hoodlums who hijacked the peaceful protest to commit criminal activities. The Northern Christian Youth Professionals has commended President Tinubu's administration for what it calls the substantial revenue savings achieved since the removal of the fuel subsidy. The group says the redirection of the funds to enhancing the living conditions of Nigerians, particularly the less privileged, is a testament to the president's genuine intention to end the misappropriation of trillions of naira by a select few under the guise of paying oil subsidies. The group's chairman, Isaac Abrak, however, noted that the recent national protest tagged End Bad Governance has highlighted that despite these efforts, states and local governments have not yet efficiently utilized these funds to improve the lives of Nigerians, especially the very poor, insisting that this reality calls for state governors and local government chairmen to urgently review the mechanisms they use in administering the funds and distribute palliatives. The Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has witnessed a surge in vehicular movements on the 5th day of the nationwide protest, indicating a gradual return to normalcy. The protests have significantly impacted the daily lives of Abuja residents, with many struggling to cope with the disruptions. The protesters, who have taken to the streets in cities across the country, are demanding an end to hunger, food inflation, and bad governance. Let's turn to the country's south-south now. The Rivers State Police Command has stated that the ongoing End Bad Governance protest is assuming a frightening dimension, noting that unlawful acts such as extortion, destruction of vehicles, and harassment of business owners will no longer be tolerated. The police said the lack of clear leadership among the protesters is gradually leading to a breakdown of law and order, and vowed to arrest and prosecute anyone infringing on the right of others. The spokesperson for the command, Grace Koko, disclosed this in a statement titled "Protest Taking Another Shape," issued in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The forthcoming local government elections in Ogun State have been fixed for Saturday, November 16, 2024. Chairman of Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, Babatunde Osibodu, disclosed this in a statement signed by him and made available to journalists in Abeokuta, the state capital. Oshibodu, according to the statement, said August 8, 2024 is scheduled for the release of guidelines for the conduct of the elections and stakeholders meeting with campaigns by the political parties, which begins on Friday, August 9. The direct allocation of funds to local governments has continued to generate concerns among stakeholders on how to enthrone accountability to ensure development at the grassroots. Edikon Michael has details.
A policy conversation event in Abuja, organized by Agro Policy in support of MacArthur Foundation. The group raises questions on effective management of public funds by local government officials. In his welcome address, founder Agora Policy Waziri Adio pointed out that the fundamental challenge to the nation's advancement over the years has been on the ineffectiveness of the local government administration and low level of public participation.
Accountability will be a critical touch point in reforming and remaking our local government areas. And this is not just horizontal accountability in terms of different institutions of government, but also in terms of vertical accountability and diagonal accountability. And we need to activate restraint mechanisms and the rich associational life that we have at the local level.
Former Minister of Sports Bolaji Abdullahi observed that lack of capacity and corruption are the bane of underdeveloped at local government level.
Lack of competence is a bigger problem in this country. The biggest challenge we are going to face with this is lack of capacity at the local government level. Corruption is a major problem. Stealing money is a major problem for this country, and the reason we are not able to do a lot of things.
In an interview, Umar Yakubu, Director General of Center for Fiscal and Transparency Watch, insists that beyond the judicial victory, Local government must enhance their administrative and financial management capacities to effectively utilize their newfound autonomy.
Stakeholders need to weigh in. Different stakeholders, be it the government, be it civil society, be it the developmental partners, to come in and strengthen their institutions so that they will know how they can even be accountable to the citizens and other drivers of development.
Recall that the Supreme Court had earlier ruled for full financial autonomy for local government, which many Nigerians say is a significant victory, but with several challenges which include ensuring the effective implementation of this ruling, as it requires vigilance and commitment from stakeholders. Edith Michael for Global Television.
Representatives resolved to dissolve the current Committee on Downstream and Midstream investigating the importation of adulterated petroleum products, the non-availability of crude oil for domestic refineries, and other critical energy security issues. House Speaker Benjamin Kalu noted that the investigation would also extend to other related issues, emphasizing the need for compliance with global standards and the quality of petroleum products imported into Nigeria. You're watching Midday News, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles, as you now see on your screen. When the Midday News returns, U.S. military completes withdrawal from final base in Niger Republic. Do stay with us. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the Midday News with Uyi Agmofwebe. Thank you for staying with us. Now time to talk business. A federal high court in Lagos has nullified the sale of Nigeria Air to Ethiopian Airlines. The court declared null and void the sale of Nigeria Air to Ethiopian Airline after determining the issues in the suit. Justice Ambrose Louis Alagoa ordered that the federal government's plans to establish the national carrier, Nigeria Air, should be halted. The judgment was delivered in favor of the registered trustees of the Airline Operators of Nigeria and 5 other aviation industry stakeholders. President Bola Tinubu says the federal government has released 570 billion naira to the 36 states of the Federation to expand livelihood support to citizens. Addressing the nation in a national broadcast as a response to the hunger protests embarked upon by the citizens, the president said while 600,000 nano businesses have benefited from the federal government's nano grants, an additional 400,000 nano businesses are expected to benefit. Oil marketers have explained that the reappearance of queues at filling stations in many states is on account of the halt in the supply of petroleum products by dealers in the bid to avert losing their assets due to the ongoing nationwide hunger protest. Many states in the country, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, have witnessed varying degrees of queues about 2 weeks ago, which the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, blamed on what it termed a hitch in the discharge operations of a couple of vessels. And now let's take it beyond the shores of Nigeria. The United States military has withdrawn a final base in jihadist-hit Niger Republic more than a year after coup leaders in the African country demanded its troops leave. After nearly 800 soldiers pulled out of a base in the capital Niamey in early July, around 200 had remained at the large Agadez base in northern Niger. The Pentagon said in a joint statement with Niger's Defense Ministry that the withdrawal of U.S. forces and assets from Air Base 201 in Agadez is complete. Colonel Abdullahi Mega says his country is breaking diplomatic relations with Ukraine, accusing a senior Ukrainian official of having admitted Kyiv's role in the heavy defeats Malian troops suffered in July. Members of the Russian mercenary group Wagner were among the casualties in the defeat, which happened in late July in the north of the country and which Mali's military rulers have blamed on what it called separatists and jihadists. Mali's government stated that it had been shocked to learn of remarks by Audrey Yusuf, spokesman of Ukraine's military intelligence agency, the GUR. And out of sport, reigning champions, the USA, will face history-making Nigeria in the quarterfinals of the Paris Olympics women's basketball competition on Wednesday following the draw on Sunday. Nigerians are the first African nation ever to reach the last eight of an Olympic basketball tournament, men and women included. They will have a tough task against the Americans, who have won the last 7 titles. Morocco plays Spain in the first men's football semi-final at the Paris Olympics 2024. Spain beat Japan 3-0 in their quarterfinal after having finished second in their group. Morocco thumped the USA 4-0 in their last 8 clash, having finished top of Group B, where they pushed Argentina into second place. And Chelsea will find out their Europa Conference League by playoff opponents when the draw takes place in Nyon, Switzerland. Enzo Maresca's side has had a challenging start to pre-season with only 1 win in 4 matches, including a recent 4-2 loss to Manchester City. Chelsea are in the main path of the playoff round, meaning they are seeded and will start their campaign against an unseeded team. And that's it on the Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, on Global Television. We're on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and all other handles, as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyag Mofwegwe, thanking you very specially for watching. Coming up shortly, it's Lunch Global with Chung and Amel Joseph.